Okay, so these little kittens, doesn't even matter what they are doing, they are absolutely adorable. They're also very toasty and warm. And that's important because as you know by being outside, it is absolutely freezing out there. Now, it's so cold that we know that there's been at least one dog that has succumbed to the elements. And here, the Etobicoke Animal Shelter, they've actually had another pet surrendered to them, a pet that was starting to show signs of frostbite. I'm joined now with Nicola Ware, who works here, and talk to me a little bit about some of the challenges that animals face when the weather gets this cold and this frigid.
Well, the obvious thing is, unlike humans, they can't tell us, or not as easily tell us, when they're showing signs of distress. If we have a child, the child can say, you know, my hands are cold, my feet are cold. Animals can't. So as responsible owners, we have to be diligent and look out for their best interests, and be their guardians, their true guardians in these extreme temperatures.
So if you have an indoor-outdoor cat, for example, or you have a dog that typically takes a 20 or 30-minute walk, how should you be changing your routine?
Excuse me, somebody's learning how to cat over there and not playing very fair. In terms of modifying routines, we hope that owners know their breed well and what they can tolerate. As I mentioned before, something like an Alaskan Malamute will do well on its typical walk, even in these cold temperatures. In fact, they may do better than their owner. But still, we have to check their paws and their ears, make sure there's no beginning signs of frostbite, make sure there's no ice in those sensitive toe pads. But certainly for the smaller animals, cats, smaller dogs of any size with short coats, you've really got to modify the amount of time they're outside. They are susceptible to hypothermia, which is reduction in body temperature, which can lead to, as we've learned, can lead to death. We've got to be careful, again, about those sensitive toe pads. Ice and, what's the other thing? Ice and salt, rock salt, can get in those toe pads, can cause chemical burns, can cause frostbite, can cause little lacerations. So when we bring the pets back inside after a shorter walk, we've got to check the ears, the toes, and make sure that everything's still okay. Their dogs in particular would probably like to be outside and play to their heart's content, but also to their detriment. So as good owners, we've got to bring them back in a timely fashion.
All right, so bring your dogs inside, keep your cats inside, and really try to limit their exposure to the cold. Thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure.